Okay, so this is lesson 1.1 in your textbook. We're learning about connecting English with mathematics and graphing line. This, this section actually seems like an easy one. It is section 1.1. Believe it or not though, this is one of the harder things to do in mathematics. Okay, and I always tell my students this because when I'm doing math, I always find it's easier when all I see is numbers on the page. Okay, it's a lot harder when you see letters. Okay, and it's actually a very difficult thing to teach as well, because there's no kind of systematic method to developing equations based on word problems. Okay, there's 10 different approaches that you could take and still get the right answer. Okay, you could choose a different variable. You could even choose different equations and still end up with the same answer. So in that regard, it is kind of a simple lesson, but it's difficult to teach. And it can be one of the harder things to do when you're setting up your problems. All right, so we're going to look at a couple examples. First, we're going to look at example 1. It's pretty basic. We're going to have a sentence, and we're going to try and translate that into words. Okay, so the first sentence is, the value 5 increased by a number. Who can tell me nice and loud how you would write that in a mathematical form? The value 5 increased by a number. Luigi?
5x.
5x. So no, 5x would be the value or a number multiplied by 5. Right? Remember, when you have a coefficient and a variable, between them is always a multiplication sign. Alan?
5 plus x.
5 plus x. Good. Okay, so you're using a variable, which could be any number, and you're adding 5. Okay, what's another way we could have wrote that mathematically? Not 5 plus x, but
X plus 5.
x plus 5. Good. So either of those would have worked. Next one. Half of a value decreased by 7 is 1. Yeah. All right.
So 1 over 2v plus 4.
1 over 2v. Good. So v as in the value. You said plus 4?
Yeah.
No, decreased by 7.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Minus 7.
Good. Decreased by 7 minus 7, and is 1. What would that be?
Equals 1.
Equals 1. Good. So the word is typically is used as an equal sign. Equals is. All right, and last one. Using two variables. So Mario's daily earnings are $80 plus 12% commission on his sales. Matthew, over there. What do you think? Mario's daily earnings are $80 plus 12% commission on his sales. So you want to try and use two variables. Sure. Mario's daily earnings, so what he earns in a day, are $80 plus 12% commission on his sales. Good. So what you came up with, very good. So $80 plus 12x. Okay, so there's a couple problems with that. All right. The first thing is that $80 plus, it said not 12 times his earnings or 12 times the value, but 12%. So how would we take this value, which is a whole number, we actually want to convert it into 12%. Matthew at the back?
Divide by 100.
Good, divide by 100. So this would be, in actuality, 0.12 times x. And then this question mentioned that it wanted two variables. Where would the other variable be? Yeah. Good, E for earnings or M for Mario. His earnings are this. Okay? And we wouldn't include such things as the dollar sign. You wouldn't put that in a mathematical equation or formula. Okay? So you would just leave it as 80. Okay, any questions there? All right, moving forward. Example 2. Who'd like to read? Nice and loud. Can you read page 10?
Ian owns a small airplane. He pays $50 an hour for flying time and $300 a month for hangar fees at a local airport. If Ian rented the same type of airplane at a local flying club, it would cost him $100 an hour. How many hours will Ian have to fly each month so that the cost of renting will be the same as the cost of flying his own airplane?
Okay. So we have two scenarios here. We have one where he pays $50 per hour for flying time and $300 a month. And we have another where he pays $100 per hour and he has no hangar fees. Okay? So what's an equation we could use for the first scenario? Luigi?
50x plus 300 plus 300.
Okay, so good. This is example 2. We have 50x plus 300, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's that equal to?
That equals to C cost.
Yeah, good. So that's his cost. C. Very good. So this is the first scenario. And we can actually label that as equation 1 or scenario 1. Okay, in the second scenario, again he has a cost per hour, but no rental fee. Who can tell me what that second equation would look like? Yeah.
100x equals cost.
Good. Okay, and notice again, I could have written this the other way around. I could have written C at the front. I could have used H for hours instead of X, or T for time. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways we could have wrote these equations, but all of them can still produce the right answer. Matthew?
Wouldn't you multiply 300 by the month also?
No, that's a very good question. Okay, what Matthew is suggesting that this 300, because it's 300 per month, we could add an M in here, per month. Okay? I would agree with you. You would. In this scenario, we're assuming the costs are only for 1 month. So we're assuming that M value is 1. Okay? But very good observation. Okay? Because if it was a question that involved multiple months, you would need an M there. Okay? Good. Excellent. So it says, how many hours will Ian have to fly each month so the cost of renting will be the same as the cost of flying his own plane? Do you have any ideas how to figure this out? Joseph, what do you think?
Well, I was going to say you could set the two equations equal to one another.
Good. You want to set the first equation and the second equation equal, because that'll set the cost the same, right? The cost of 1 are the same as the cost of 2. Okay, and the number of flying hours is the variable x in this particular case. Okay, so we set these two equations equal. So we're going to end up with 50x plus 300 is equal to 100x. Now we want to isolate for the unknown, for the variable x in this case. So we're going to move this 100 over the equal sign. So we have negative 50x is equal to negative 300. X is equal to, is that right?
Yeah.
6?
Yeah.
It's a constant, x is equal to 6. Okay, how many hours will Ian have to fly? Ian will have to fly x hours. Or sorry, 6 hours. So what do you guys think the better deal is? Ace, what do you think?
The first deal?
Sorry?
The first deal?
The first deal? How come?
Because you only pay $50 an hour, and maybe the second.
Yeah, it's kind of an arbitrary question. I see the same hands going on. Yeah, can you tell me?
I choose the first one because after the 6 months,
Okay, that is a